Hi, I'm applying for the Elaine and Ed Patane scholarship, and I just wanted to share a video about me and introduce myself like that. I was so excited to run across a scholarship based off of family and faith. I think it's something that we don't talk about enough in our culture, and something that's shaped me so much as an individual that I just had to apply, if anything, just to highlight the values of having loving parents and having had such a good experience growing up. So let me talk about the way I grew up. I grew up overseas. My parents were missionaries. They worked with churches in Peru, South America. We moved from 3 cities in Peru throughout my childhood, and then we came back to the States for me to finish high school and then go on to college. And while I was in college, they moved back to Peru, where they split their time, 6 months there, 6 months here. So some of my memories from Peru and just the way that my parents lived their life was on mission, and it was powered by the love of God. What I mean by that is that they were the same people outside the home as they were inside the home, which is a huge blessing that not many missionary kids have. And so I'm thankful beyond measure. My parents always included us in missions work, in kids clubs, in river trips, and adventures that they had. We all speak Spanish fluently and have many friends that are still in Peru and have been affected in a powerful, beautiful way by my parents' love for each other and love for us. I'm gonna have to share some pictures with you guys on the scholarship website, but just of like river trips and memories in my family. I have so much respect for my parents, so much love for them, and I want to carry that forward into my own family, because these things, they shape not only the people in the family with those parents, but also the friendships we make as we grow up into adulthood and we start our own independent families and relationships. So having parents like Ed and Elaine is so valuable and such a blessing. I guess I want to share a couple of stories growing up. One of them is my first river trip with my dad. I was about 15 years old. It might have been 11. 15. It might have been 11. I was 11 years old, and I had begged my dad to take me with him, and he finally said I was old enough, so I think it was 11, and we woke up at 5 in the morning while it was still dark. I slipped a letter under the table under the door to my mom. She was still asleep, and me and my dad left, and we had 5 villages along the river that we were gonna visit. So we started our trip out by climbing into a truck, and there were like pigs and animals in the back of this truck that were being transported to the villages. And me and my dad just like stood there huddled in like our hoodie, and that truck took us to the port town that had the boat on which we traveled to the village of Yarina, which was our first one. And in those villages, my dad would preach in the night at the main square, and then we'd have different visits. We'd go to different people's houses throughout the day and just chat with them, share the gospel, learn from them, live alongside them. And then in the afternoon, they'd have kids clubs where some of the believers that had come with my dad on that trip set up like Sunday schools for the village kids. And so towards the end of the week, we went to this next village. I can't remember the name of it, but I remember that everyone in the village had pink eye. And I was really scared of it. I mean, I didn't know how, what pink eye was. I already had like chiggers from playing in the grass with kids. And so I was uncomfortable, and then pink eye just seemed super mysterious for me, and I was really worried about it. And my dad just reminded me, he was like, Bria, let's pray about it, and let's pray that you don't get pink eye. And so we prayed about it, and I just remember feeling so much peace after that, and so much confidence, like it was in God's hands. And I went out and I kept on playing with my friends. And so when we got back home, I had chiggers and we had to deal with those, but I did not have pink eye. And I think that story just really is a good example of my childhood adventure, led by parents that loved us and took care of us, but also that honored the Lord first in their lives and went to him with their worries and with their cares, knowing that they didn't serve someone who just requires lots of hard sacrifices, but they served a God who they knew loved them as individuals and would take care of them. And so yeah, I just wanted to share that story because I think it really shapes the culture. It reflects the culture of my family to you guys, and something that I'm sure that you guys have experienced in your own family. Yeah, I have so many other fun stories that I could share. For a time after I moved back from Peru, my family, and as I was finishing up high school, we were traveling around the States, and the Lord had called my parents to do church work in California with a small Hispanic church like an hour south of San Jose. And we moved out there in a travel trailer. So the back of the trailer had 2 sets of bunk beds, and that's where me and my siblings stayed. And then the front of the trailer had like a master bed for my parents, and then we had the kitchen and living room all jam-packed in the middle. And so we lived in that for a year and a half. And man, that was crazy. We got so close to each other, and that's the kind of support system that I think is disappearing nowadays. Families that do things through the thick and thin and will stay together. And the fact that we did not crash out during that time is so crazy, but it was such a blessing to us to be so close, and something that just has so many good memories. I'm thinking of all those experiences. We were outside so much that year. We all went surfing together, and we would do hikes and stuff. my parents have been very intentional with us. So yeah, I'm excited to share that with you guys. I know this video is getting long, but I am thankful for this opportunity to relate with somebody about having a good family and just share the way the Lord has shaped us and the way the Lord has blessed us. And so thanks for considering me, and thank you for even putting this scholarship out there and raising the bar on families. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.